90% of the things that I say that my friends say sound articulate or you're so smart, it's just because I wrote about it. It was 9 p.m. on a school night and I had yet to start my English paper for the next day, The Catcher in the Rye. Groaning, I turned on my computer and opened a blank Google Docs. For 15 minutes, I stared at it straight, agonizing over how I would analyze Holden's journey of adolescent rebellion, how he felt demotivated by forced tests, readings, and essays that he had for school, and would rather be hanging out with his friend Phoebe, talking to chicks, or doing other fun adult stuff. The irony. I typed a few sentences, which I immediately deleted because I thought they sucked. I typed a few more, which I deleted again. I kept opening Civ 6 every 10 minutes and playing one turn or two, and then going back to my writing. And I repeated this cycle for 3 hours before I turned in a shitty rough draft with minimal proofreads. Going to bed that night, I had one thought: writing sucks. And I'm not alone. The tragedy is many kids grow up despising writing. We associate it with the forced essays that we have to do in school. We're taught how to write for the classroom, which apparently the only worthwhile way is it has an introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion, and a tinge of sadness because you aren't doing something else. But we're not taught how to write with the soul. Rarely in school was I given the chance to write about something that I actually cared about, to find my own voice, to break the rules, to have 3 sentences starting with the word to, because that's how I wanted my writing to sound rather than prim and proper. This is a tragedy because I've fallen in love with writing outside of school through my content creation. I've realized that writing is not just a tool for school. Writing is the ultimate secret learning tool. Editor Aiden here. I just wanted to make it clear, I don't think writing is the ultimate tool for learning anything. I think it is a powerful tool in your toolkit for learning particularly knowledge-based stuff, right? I wouldn't ask someone to write an atomic essay if they wanted to learn tennis, for example. So keep that in mind. It is a powerful tool, but not the only be-all one. You might be saying, how so? First, writing helps us learn more about ourselves by externalizing our thoughts and feelings into the physical world and letting us find patterns. Second, writing helps us express our knowledge for ourselves and for others to be able to see, which can potentially change their lives. And finally, writing helps us learn more by uncovering the holes in our knowledge and filling them. Writing is an act of thinking in itself. If you have clear writing, you have clear thinking. It's this last point that I want to explore more for the rest of this video. Over the last few years, I've gotten more into writing to uncover the holes in my knowledge and fill them through research and conversation, specifically in the form of atomic essays. What are atomic essays and how do you write them? Atomic essays are short 100 to 500 word essays, concise, and can be written in 30 minutes or less. Most crucially, they can be written on anything: sports, chemistry, psychology, and in any way, with improper grammar, punctuation, heck, with a mixing of languages if you want. Some of my atomic essays are in Spanish and in English at the same time. They can be solely for you, or they can be shared with others. They can be on any topic you know about or on something that you want to explore. And the steps to writing an atomic essay are super simple, which is why it's so powerful. First, you come up with an idea on anything that you want to write about. Let's say you wanted to write about how to achieve happiness in life, the golden question, how do we do it? And you open up a blank document to start writing, maybe a digital document or a fresh notepad, and you title your atomic essay a statement that you want to argue in the piece. So for example, you could say happiness is relinquishing of desire. You have the option of creating an outline on the points that you want to make in the piece, or you can just go free and yippee all over the document. I recommend rough drafting by literally vomiting out everything that you want to say about the piece. Just get the thoughts out there, because once you finish rough drafting, then you can start editing and refining your thoughts, either that same writing session or a few days later. Heck, if you don't want to edit and just leave the atomic essay there, it is totally up to you. Gasp. Leaving your piece without punctuation and proper grammar? What would our English teachers say? What you do with this piece afterward is completely up to you. You can keep it for yourself, or you can share it with someone else, like a family member or a friend. When I first started writing atomic essays a few years ago, it took some time for me to fall in love with the process. But my distaste for writing from school was so powerful. Through writing atomic essays over the last few years, I've not only fallen back in the love with the process of writing, but also skyrocketed my learning as well. I've written on topics like personal knowledge management, psychology, gamification, meta learning, topics you would never be able to write about most of the time in school. And people are starting to notice. I remember a few weeks ago, I was sitting with a friend for lunch when he asked me about why video games and gamification was such a powerful way for improving our real lives. Because he was a past addicted gamer and I was super into gamification. So I went on this massive tangent about all the ways that applying game principles to real life can help us. And afterward, he just looked at me stunned. He was like, "What? How did you know all of that?" And I answered in the way that I always do. I wrote about it. 90% of the things that I say that my friends say sound articulate or you're so smart, it's just because I wrote about it. One question you might be asking is, how do you get all of your ideas, right? If you're writing 100 to 500 word essays, that must be quite a lot of essays all the time. Honestly, I have the opposite problem from what most people expect. The question is not how do I get my ideas, but which ones do I prioritize? And the reason I never struggle with finding ideas is because I've built a personal knowledge management system to find and cultivate them over time. Personal knowledge management is the art of collecting ideas from our daily experiences or work and readings and nurturing them to improve productivity and creativity. How do you collect these ideas? Wait for it. You write them down. I'm sorry, I had to do it. There are so many ways that you can build a PKM system. You can use a physical notepad. I personally use the digital note-taking app Obsidian, which is a modern digital linked note-taking system that acts sort of like a personal Wikipedia. You can create your own bidirectional links and create a web of thought of your own individual notes to compound your knowledge over time. It's like growing your own Wikipedia page of atomic essays. So if you want to learn more about Obsidian and build a system for ideas in your atomic essays, check out my Obsidian beginner resource list in the description below. It's going to save you countless of hours and time and energy looking for the best Obsidian resources. It includes all of the ones I wish I had 3 years ago when starting my journey, the best creators to follow, best links to immerse yourself in the community, and my most popular created content on Obsidian. So with that being said, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. As always, eat some peanut butter and bye-bye.